In the summer of 1914, Europe was thriving. Trade was global, technology was advancing. Nations believed they were too connected to fall into catastrophic war. 25 years later, in 1939, many believed the last war had been so devastating that another would be unthinkable. Both times the world was wrong, not because people wanted a world war, but because patterns were ignored. And today, the question isn't whether World War III is certain. The question is whether the pattern is forming again. World War I did not begin with a global plan for destruction. It began with a regional crisis. On June 28, 1914, Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary was assassinated in Sarajevo. Austria-Hungary blamed Serbia. But the real engine of escalation wasn't the assassination itself, it was alliances. Europe was divided into two major power blocs: the Triple Entente, Britain, France, and Russia. The Triple Alliance, Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy. Mobilization plans were rigid. Military timetables could not easily be reversed. When Austria-Hungary moved against Serbia, Russia mobilized. Germany responded, France followed. Britain entered after Germany violated Belgian neutrality. Within weeks, a regional dispute became a continental war. Pattern 1. Rigid alliances plus military mobilization plus miscalculation equals global escalation. World War II followed a different path but the same structural weaknesses. After World War I, economic instability, unresolved grievances, and nationalism intensified. The Treaty of Versailles left Germany economically strained and politically humiliated. The Great Depression destabilized democracies worldwide. Authoritarian regimes rose, promising restoration and power. Adolf Hitler rearmed Germany in violation of treaties. In 1938, Germany annexed Austria, then demanded the Sudetenland from Czechoslovakia. European powers chose appeasement, hoping to avoid another war. In September 1939, Germany invaded Poland. Britain and France declared war. Again, it began regionally. Again, alliances activated. Again, economic stress and nationalism fed the fire. Pattern 2. Economic instability plus expansionism plus weak deterrence equals global conflict. Today's world is different, but some structures look familiar. Major powers are increasingly divided into geopolitical blocs. NATO has expanded in response to Russian aggression. Russia invaded Ukraine in 2022, the largest land war in Europe since 1945. In the Indo-Pacific, tensions between China and the United States are rising over Taiwan and maritime control. In the Middle East, conflict between Israel and Hamas risks drawing in regional actors. Defense budgets are climbing globally. Nuclear arsenals remain active. Sanctions are used as strategic weapons. Trade is increasingly politicized. Look closely at the pattern. Before 1914, competing alliances, military buildups, national pride, regional crisis triggering mobilization. Before 1939, economic instability, territorial revisionism, rising authoritarianism, failure to deter early aggression. Today, strengthening military blocs, major regional wars, economic fragmentation, expanding defense spending, nuclear deterrence tensions. The difference: today's weapons are exponentially more destructive. But today's communication is also faster. Back-channel diplomacy exists. Global leaders understand the cost of total war, which makes the world both safer and more fragile. History does not repeat exactly, it rhymes. World War I began because leaders believed escalation could be controlled. World War II began because leaders believed aggression could be contained. If a third world war were ever to occur, it would likely begin the same way, not with intention, but with miscalculation. A regional conflict pulling alliances inward, a deterrent failing, an economic shock destabilizing fragile systems. But unlike 1914 or 1939, there's one critical difference. We have the historical blueprint. We know the warning signs. And awareness changes outcomes. The question is not whether World War III is inevitable. It is whether the world recognizes the pattern early enough to break it. History has shown us how global wars begin. The future will show whether we've learned from them. Silence, fade to black. One miscalculation. or one lesson remembered.